Alright guys, it's Dr. Hansen. Listen, let's talk about your adrenal glands. These are some real heavy hitters when it comes to you getting a good night's sleep. And the reason is because remember that sleep is not something you make happen. What you make happen is not being awake anymore. And so it's not turning sleep on, it's turning everything else off that we need to focus on. Your adrenals are the number one thing that keep everything else on. And so it's the number one thing we need to focus on when it comes to getting great sleep. Now, your adrenals are vital. It's not something that we need to avoid. In the morning, actually, they're exactly what helps you get up and at 'em. And so your adrenals secrete stress hormone called cortisol, and that helps you ramp up for the day. Then throughout the day, production kind of tapers down until at night, things are pretty minimal, and that's how you can get to sleep. You also, your adrenals will respond throughout the day to stressors. And so if something comes up that's stressful, you'll ramp up production to deal with that stress and then get back to normal. That's how it's supposed to work, at least. Unfortunately, most people lead lives where they have a lot of stress throughout the day, and either stress is happening on too regular of a basis or it's just constant. And a couple things will happen there. Initially, your adrenals will just get kind of tired. So they'll have a hard time keeping up with production. And just like if you were working out too much and you needed more rest, your adrenals will kind of fatigue. And so you'll have a problem where you're tired and you can get to sleep, but you have a very hard time waking up. You're not fully recovered, so to speak, and so your adrenals just aren't keeping up. The next thing that'll happen is you'll kind of really go into overdrive and you'll get what they would call tired and wired. So your adrenals will be firing all day long, kind of giving it everything they've got, and never really coming down. So you'll be exhausted, but you'll have a very hard time getting to sleep, staying asleep, that sort of thing. And so that's kind of the double whammy where you're exhausted constantly and always tired, but you can never sleep. And then finally, everything will just putter out, and your adrenals just won't be able to keep up with demand at all, and so you will be, that's kind of end stage situation, and you're a mess at that point. But the best way to check and see where you're at is actually to do a cortisol test, and so we can do a 24-hour sample collection, which will let us see exactly what your patterns are, kind of what stage of the game you're at, and most importantly, how we can support your adrenals so that you've got a normal pattern which will allow you to sleep properly. And once you get back to sleeping properly, of course, then things snowball from there as far as recovery and your health and whatnot goes. But that's the adrenals in a nutshell. Again, remember, your adrenals are the number one thing that stimulate wakefulness, and sleep is an absence of wakeful stimulation. And so we need to turn everything else off in order for you to get good sleep, and that means addressing your adrenals.